right. Okay, you can mute everybody else now too. Something weird's happening with the screen. Okay, all right, so let's all just take a moment to get settled, to find a comfortable seat. And I will always encourage people, to myself included, let me just say that for myself too, to prop your bum up on a little bit of a pillow or a cushion. If you don't have one, it's fine. But if you tend to sit with your knees a little bit higher, then it's always good to put something under your tushy so that your hips can just be a little elevated. Oh, you have me muted. You muted everybody and you muted me too. Okay, now can you guys hear me? That was our fault. Okay. All right, awesome. Can you hear us, Kevin? Just give us a thumbs up. Okay, right on. Okay. All right. So take a moment to settle into a comfortable seat or a comfortable puppy. And if you tend to sit with your knees a little bit higher, then put something under your sits bones so that you can prop your hips up so that they just come up a little bit higher towards the knees. And if you don't have anything, don't worry about that. And then close your eyes and relax your shoulders. And just take a moment to make a really conscious transition from whatever you were doing previously to being in this yoga space. You can do that in any way that you practice that already, but a great way is to state your name and to call on any guides or ancestors or healing teams that you work with to just be present and supportive for your practice today. And then just take 3 deep breaths. And I'm going to encourage that these first 3, that you inhale through the nose and that you exhale out an open mouth. And you really let the tongue relax into the lower jaw. And that will help to activate all of the energies below your belly button, helping you to ground more into this practice and into your day. All right, so to get us started this morning, I wanted to just share a little bit about the course or the class. We've been focusing on yoga for your cleanse, and today we'll still focus on that, but we're going to start to transition out of the really gentle practices to start to rebuild and restore the body. It's a really important part of a cleanse, is to make sure that you create a barrier and you create some strength as you start to transition back into whatever your normal life looks like. So I would say that this practice is appropriate if you're just at the beginning of a cleanse or if you're at the end of your cleanse. If you're somewhere in the middle and your energy is low, then just take it slow today. It's not going to be super vigorous, but it's definitely more than we've been doing the last couple weeks. Okay. All right, so I want to share with you guys a practice for activating the relaxation response, which helps the body to restore and rebuild and create new stem cells and create new healthy tissue. And it's a 3-part practice. And the first part just starts with some deep diaphragmatic breath, which means when you inhale, you can feel your torso expand in 4 directions. So let's just practice big deep breaths. In yoga, this is called Dirgha Svasam. And it's that 3-part svasa is the breath. And just feeling the belly expand, the ribs stretch a little bit, and the shoulders rise. And then as you exhale, you can feel the shoulders relax, the ribs relax, and the belly button moves back in towards the spine as you contract the abdomen a little bit. And then relax and inhale. Gentle contraction as you exhale. And now try to just inhale for a count of 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 1, 2, 3. If that feels too fast for you, slow it down, but make sure that your inhale and exhale are finding more of a balance, that they're more matched in time. So our respiratory and cardiac systems are very intimately connected. And by simply taking a few moments to deepen our breath, we can set forth a chain of signals that helps to slow down our heart rate, and it induces proper digestion, and it lets the body return to a rest and digest state versus that fight or flight state. The second part of the practice is to incorporate some vocalization. And we're going to use the sound Om, and we're going to break it down into its three parts. Om is not O-M, it's really A-U-M. So we want to enunciate the ah, oo, because that activates different parts of our brain. And that also gives a signal to the vagus nerve, which is the wandering nerve. It's the largest nerve in the body, and starts to further induce, almost on a cellular level, this parasympathetic response of rest and digest. So we'll make the sound together 3 times, and just doing our best to first let that ah sound come from the back of your throat, and then ooh as you purse the lips together, and then finally kind of starts to vibrate the whole body and mind. So inviting a nice deep breath in for this vocalization. Just take a moment to feel that vibration as it permeates and settles into all parts of the body and mind. Great. And the third part incorporates working with some Marma points. Marma are vital points on the surface of the skin that are connected to the different nadis or channels or rivers in the body, and they help to undam. So if there's any stagnation or buildup or clogging in any of those channels, pressing these points kind of releases that flow. And so we want to do our best always to just have proper flow, because that means health can get to all parts of the body. So start by placing your right hand over your head. We'll put this hand out in the yoga classroom if anybody wants to go in there and grab it. And then place your left hand over your belly button. And by doing this, we're activating our crown chakra. It's also called Adipati Marma. Adipati means first father, and so that activates, it's the master Marma in the body. So by just touching the crown of your head, you activate all of the other Marma in the body. And then the nabi, or your belly button, is where all of the channels, there's 72,000 channels in the body, where they all converge. So these are 2 really important parts to activate. So we'll just take 2 more breaths here. Good. And then let your right hand, you can keep your left hand on your belly button, bring your right hand down and press the Stapani point, right? It's also called Ajna chakra, right between the eyebrows. Stapani Marma means to stabilize the mind, which is a great thing for us to do before we move into our yoga practice, because we'll stir up lots of thoughts and emotions. So take 3 breaths, almost like you could breathe right into your Ajna or Stapani Marma. Great. And I can see, Kevin, you're giving that a little massage, which is awesome. You can totally do that. You can also kind of twist your finger. You can also kind of pluck at the point to get some activation here. Traditionally, the bindis that we see native Indians from India wearing were made with herbs that actually had a magnetic property in them, so they would draw blood to this point, so you'd actually get a pulsating feeling happening here. Okay, next we want to come to Nasaputa. It's on either side of the nostril at the base of your nose. Great, and this helps to activate all the alveoli in the lungs, so it creates greater dilation so that you actually take in more oxygen. So take 3 deep breaths here. Hey, Mary. We're just reviewing some Marma. One more deep breath. Great. And now we'll come to what is called chibuka. All these names are great, right? So the easiest way to find chibuka is to clench your jaw and then find the little divot that's right in front of your jaw muscle. So it's usually like right in the center of your cheek. And just press that with your thumb and let your middle finger rest on your temples. So these are 2 important parts. The temple point actually helps to regulate the amount of acid in the digestive system. And the chibuka point helps to regulate the mucus lining in the mouth and in this digestive system. So take 3 breaths here. All of this activating the vagus nerve, helping to de-stress the body. Great. Okay. From here, we're going to all make our way up to a standing position. We'll make our way back down, don't worry. But let's just start off by further opening these channels in the body. So our joints are also Marma points because they're intersections of all of these rivers of fluid and energy and prana in the body. So start by just reaching your hands out in front and squeeze the fists 3 times. Let's do 5. Good. And then hug your thumbs inside the palms. Bring the base of the wrist together and just flip them around 3 times. And then go 3 times in the opposite direction. Good. And then fingertips to the tops of the shoulders and out. Do that 3 times. And then do 3 times opposite shoulders. This helps to open up the pathways on the right and left hemispheres of the brain. Good. And now your fingertips to the tops of the shoulders and do big circles with your elbows, almost as if you could really squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. And as you do that, you push your heart forward. Good. And then go the opposite direction and touch the elbows out in front of your face. We could probably, all of us, do this like all day long. Good. And then rest your hands at your side. Draw the chin to the chest, and then slowly roll your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And then take your chin up like you're looking up at the ceiling. And then back down. And then sweep the chin or trace the chin across the collarbone. Over to the left. Look up. And back. We'll do that 3 times on each side. Be really gentle and slow. Last time over to the left. And then just bring the chin to center and up. Make sure your knees are soft. We want to never lock our joints in, ever, in yoga or any other time. And then just look to the right and left. And don't do this so fast. Go really slow and try to take in the space that you're in. Like just notice all of the things on the wall. Maybe there's a breeze. See if there's anything that you can observe that you've been missing. right? We're all in our spaces pretty much all of the time these days, but we still tend to miss stuff. So just take one more observation around your space. And come back to center, bring your hands to your waist. Step your right foot just a little bit behind you and rotate the ankle. And do both directions. Good, and then just swing this foot forwards and backwards. Good, and then take a couple swings across the front. Good, set this foot down. Step your left foot back behind you, because it's a laughing foot. Rotate this ankle. Apparently my tongue isn't going to keep up with me today, so I apologize for any mistakes. Good, do both directions. Good, and then a little swing front and back. And side to side. Good. All right, now bring the feet together, bend your knees a little bit, bring the hands to the tops of the knees, and just do these little circles. Good, and opposite direction. Okay, we're ready. Go ahead and step up to the front of the mat. We're gonna move really slowly to help us calm Vata. Vata is the dosha of wind or movement. And in today's class, we're gonna do our best to ground that energy or to calm it as much as we can. It's made of earth and air, ether and air, so it's hard to contain. All right, so make sure your knees are a little bent. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart. And then inhale, interlace your fingers, flip your palms out and lift up onto your toes. And reach up through the palms, press down through the feet. And then exhale, let the heels come down. And then hinge forward, folding all the way over your legs. Good. At the bottom, press your hands into the fronts of your shins and just lengthen out the spine. Look in front of your mat about 2 or 3 feet. And exhale, bringing the belly towards the thighs. Plant your hands on either side of your feet and step your right foot back. Let your knee come down. Now I want you to notice where your hands are. We're going to do our best not to let the hands move. Okay? So from here, plant your hands, lift your back knee, and step into downward dog. From downward dog, inhale and shift yourself forward so that the shoulders come over the wrists. Lower your knees down, and then slowly let the chest and chin come down, but squeeze your elbows into the body. Don't let them splay out. Good. From here, walk your feet back. Let your hips and pubic bone anchor to the floor, and just lift the head, neck, and chest. So your low ribs are still on the floor. Good. From here, turn the toes under, press up to your hands and knees, and back to downward dog. Okay, we started with the right, so we'll end with the right. From here, inhale the right leg up, and then draw it through, step it in between your hands, and let your left knee come down. You may need to come up onto your fingertips, but still, we have had our hands in the same place the whole time. So nice deep breath here. As you exhale, press into the back foot, lift that back knee, and then step the feet together. Empty the breath here. Tuck your thumbs in your hips, draw your elbows and shoulders back, and come up with a nice, strong belly, long back. Release the arms at the top, reach up, look up, and exhale to your heart. Inhale, interlace the palms, rise up onto your toes, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower the heels and hinge forward towards the floor. Nice deep breath in here as you lift the body up halfway. Exhale, empty the breath and compress your thighs and your belly together. Good. Inhale, step your left foot back, knee comes down. Notice where your hands are. We're going to keep them here the whole time. Go ahead and look forward just a little bit. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale, lifting the back knee, pressing back to downward dog. Empty the breath. As you inhale, let the breath pull you forward into this high push-up position, and then exhale, lowering the knees, chest and chin to the floor. Inhale to walk your feet back, anchor the pubic bone, and lift the heart. Exhale, turn the toes under, press up to your hands and knees, and move back into downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, gently step it through. Let the back knee come down. Take another breath as you inhale and look forward. Maybe you come up onto your fingertips. Exhale, press into the back foot, and then draw the right foot forward. Empty the breath, compress your belly to your thighs. Tuck the thumbs in the hips, draw the elbows and shoulders back as you come all the way up. Release the arms, reach up, look up. Exhale to your heart. Again, inhale and interlace. Come up onto the toes. We're going to stay here for a breath or two. Any wobbling in your ankles is just your ankles getting stronger. That's what we're doing. We're getting stronger every day with every breath. Good. Exhale, lower the heels, hinging forward. Come all the way down. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. Compress all the breath out. And then inhale, step your right leg back. Again, keep the hands where they are. Lift the chest and chin, look forward. And then exhale, stepping back to downward dog. Let the breath be the initiator of all the movements. Inhale, let the breath draw you forward. Exhale, lower the knees, chest and chin. Inhale as you walk the feet back, anchor the pubic bone and lift your heart. Exhale, pressing up and back to downward dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. As you exhale all the way down, let that knee come down. And then take a nice deep breath in as you lift your heart, looking forward. Exhale, press into the back toes and draw the right foot to the top. Empty the breath. Tuck the thumbs in the hips and draw yourself up. Reach up, look up. Exhale to the heart. I think I went backwards on that one. Again, inhale, interlace, lift up onto the toes. The nice thing is we're doing alternate, so we can always make it up. Staying up on the toes for a little bit longer. And then exhale the heels down, hinge forward, come all the way to the floor. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, empty the breath, plant the hands, and step your left foot back. Knee comes down again. Keep those hands in place, just looking forward, stretching across the front of your collarbone. Good. Exhale to plant your hands. Squeeze your belly as you step the right foot back. Empty the breath in downward dog. Inhale, shift forward into high push-up. Exhale, lower the knees, chest and chin. Okay, we're going to stay here for just a minute. I want you guys to identify the 8 points that are touching the floor. The toes, the knees, the hands, the chin, and the chest. Ashtanga Pranipatasana, 8-point pose. From here, walk your feet back, anchor the pubic bone, and lift your heart. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And to even out, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Knee comes down, heart opens, looking forward. Exhale, press into the back leg and draw the left leg to the top. Empty the breath. Tuck the thumbs into the hips. Draw the elbows and arms back as you come all the way up. Reach up, look up. And exhale to the heart. Good. One more time. This time, step your feet a little bit wider than your hips. And open the arms up. Big, wide arms as you gather prana and bring the arms together overhead. Good. From here, exhale, fold over the legs. Good. Fingertips to the floor, right in front of your toes. Inhale, lift your heart. And now exhale, sink your hips down and come into malasana, or squat pose. Let your elbows come inside the knees. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Squeeze your arms with your knees and lengthen your spine. Reach up through the crown of your head. Great. From here, plant your hands, lift your bum up a little bit, and then just take your knees to the floor and come all the way down into child's pose. Good. If it's difficult for you to get your forehead all the way to the floor, put a pillow or a block or something there so that there's something for your head to rest on. Good. And you can also take your knees a little bit wider than your hips. If you're feeling too much heat in the body, that will allow you to cool down. Good. And settle in here. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. So child's pose, also called balasana. Bala also means strength. It also means baby, depending where you put the hash mark over the A. So we can think of this pose as balasana child's pose or balasana strength pose because it really does bring us strength. The weight of our torso on our thighs activates a Marma point in the center of your thighs called Shakti Urvi, which means root of energy. So our yoga postures or shapes are designed in a way that they mimic nature, but they also activate all these different energy points on the body. And the fact that our head is touching or compressing also brings calm and peace into the mind and emotional bodies. Two more minutes here, so really relax into this pose. It's also going to open up our hips for some stuff that's coming. And you can play with your hand position. You might want to bring your arms back alongside the legs. You can also stack your forearms right underneath your forehead. That feels pretty good. All of it lets your cervical spine relax. This is a great place to connect with your breath. You can really incorporate that ujjayi breathing, mimicking the sound of the ocean. One more minute. Okay. From here, we're just going to walk ourselves up so that we're sitting in Vajrasana or Thunderbolt pose. Good. And then from here, just shift your hips to the sides of the heels, swing your legs out in front of you, and come to lie on your back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Good, and start by taking the feet out to the edge of your mat, and then just let the knees fall in towards each other. So maybe not as wide as your mat, that might be too wide for some bodies. Good, and then rest your hands on your belly, and just take a moment to rest and digest. Rest is so important because it allows the body the time it needs to do proper transformation, breakdown, assimilation, and absorption of food, thoughts, emotions, environments. One more breath here. Great. And then bring the knees up. Bring your feet back in line with your hips and kind of inch your heels as close as you can to your glutes. And keep your arms by your sides. We're going to work with some dynamic movement in bridge pose, which is a really great way to just start bringing strength back to the body. So as we inhale, we're going to lift the hips up and take the arms all the way overhead as we roll onto the tops of the shoulders. And then exhale, bring the arms down, and as they meet the side of the body, then lower the hips back down. So they kind of find the bottom and top together. Inhale, press into the feet, take the arms up overhead. Press, press, press up, reach up, roll onto the tops of the shoulders. Let your chin fall away from your chest so you keep your cervical spine safe. And then exhale the arms halfway, and then lower the hips and arms together. We're going to do that 5 more times. Inhale, lifting up. You don't have to keep your chin tucked to really let it fall away from the chest. Exhaling back down. Good. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice, even breath, even here. Inhaling up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale, reach up. This time we're going to stay up for a couple of breaths. So arms are reaching overhead. You're pressing into the feet. The hips are going high. The chin's rolling away from the chest. Let's take 2 breaths here. One more nice long breath. And then exhale everything back to the floor. And step your feet out. Take your arms wide so you're in a T position. And from here, just shift the knees side to side, doing this windshield wiper-like action. Good. Now incorporate the head. Let the head roll and look opposite to the knees. So my knees roll left and my head rolls right. All right, everybody slow down. You guys look like you're on double X mode over there or something. Okay. Now, next time the knees come to the left, leave them there and roll your head to look out over your right arm and take 3 breaths. In a lot of yoga classes, they refer to twists as being wringing out the spine, which is kind of what is happening, but not exactly. But the compression that we get to the nerves along the spine from the twist, when we release that, it allows a whole bunch of new oxygen and blood to rush to that area. So it does revitalize and rebuild the spinal nerves. All right, inhale the head and knees up. And then exhale the knees to the right, head goes to the left. And take 3 breaths here. As you exhale, do your best to let the whole abdominal area soften and relax. One more breath. Good. Knees up through center, head comes up as well. Just take a breath here. Good. And then roll over to one side and come onto your hands and knees. Good. All right. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And what we're going to do is we're just going to step the right foot through. And we're coming into a deep lunge, so you may want blocks here. You can always be on your fingertips. You can put books under here if you don't have blocks. But keep your knee right over your ankle. Don't let it start to shift forward. And then just let your hips kind of sink down. You can release the back foot to the floor. Take a deep breath in here, look forward. And then exhale, shift your hips back. And as you shift your hips back, draw the right toes up and stretch the hamstring. Good. Inhale, come back into the deep lunge. Look forward, lift your heart. Exhale, shift back. This is called Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. Good. Inhale, deep lunge, look forward, open the chest. Exhale, shift back, draw the toes up. Good. Inhale one more time into this deep lunge, look forward, draw the chest open, shoulders move away from each other. Good. Exhale, hips move back. Good. And just hang out in this position for a minute, doing your best to drape your torso over your right leg. And then think about pressing your right heel down into the mat and drawing it back towards you. So you activate all these tiny little muscles around the pubic bone. Keep flexing the right foot. So stretching a Marma point also activates it. So we're stretching the counter point to that Shakti Urvi, that root of energy. Good. From here, inhale, shift forward. And then we're going to move into a supported side angle. So what I want you to do is, what do I want you to do? I want you to come back onto your hands and knees. And then extend your left leg back behind you. And do your best to have your right hand, knee, and arch of your foot all in alignment. And then you can take your foot back behind you for a kickstand. So you kind of have a little bit more balance. Good. And now like we're pulling a bow open, take your left fist to the floor. Inhale, pull it up, all the way up. And then swim your left arm up and over the top of your mat and bring your hand back to the floor. Good, draw that bow open, left hand up towards the top. Exhale, swim the left arm forward and back to the floor. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, draw the arm open. Exhale, swim and reach. Good, one more time. Inhale, take that left arm up. And either keep it here or extend your left arm over your head now and really lift into your sideways, kind of arching the whole side of the body, stretching from the outer edge of your left foot to your left fingertips. Good, try not to let your head drop and take 2 more breaths. Beautiful, that probably wasn't 2 breaths. Good, lower your left hand down, come back to your hands and knees. Turn the toes under and just exhale back into a downward dog. And pedal out your feet. Pressing evenly into both hands. Lift up onto your tippy toes. Shift your torso back a little bit more and then lower the heels down. Great. From here, shift forward, coming back onto your hands and knees, and step your left foot through into this deep lunge. You may or may not have blocks, but make sure you've got a 90-degree angle in the knee and the ankle. Take a deep breath in, let your hips sink down, release the top of the back foot to the floor, open your chest, and then exhale, shift the hips back, draw the left toes up, and stretch that left hamstring. Good, inhale, shift forward into this deep lunge, open up across the chest. Exhale, shift back, draw the toes up. 2 more times. Inhale, looking forward, opening the chest. Exhale, shifting back, opening up the back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. This time we're going to stay back, drawing the toes up. All right, press this left heel into the floor. Oh boy, it doesn't feel awesome, or it does. And then try to drag that left foot back towards you so you activate all these tiny muscles in your hip and pubic area. And take 2 breaths. One more nice long breath. Good, and then shift forward. Good. Move the blocks out of the way if you have them. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders and step back into your hands and knees. Good. Then extend your right leg back behind you. Plant it on the floor. Knee, palm, and arch of the right foot are all in alignment. And then kick your left foot back behind you to give you some stability. Good. And then press into your left hand. Inhale, draw the right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, swim up and around. Inhale, draw the arm up. Exhale, reach over and around. 2 more times. One more. Okay, one more, just to get our arm up. Good, and then face the palm towards the floor, reach the right arm all the way up and over. Almost like you could touch the floor, really bending or arching into the right side of the body. Try not to let your head just hang. 2 long breaths. Really breathe into the right side of the body. Breathe into your liver, breathe into your gallbladder. Beautiful. Go ahead and take that hand down. Come back onto your hands and knees. Turn the toes under and press back to a gentle downward facing dog. Start by pedaling out your feet. Good, and then from here, look up at the space between your hands and walk your feet slowly up to the back of your wrists. Good. And from here, walk yourself up the front of your legs. Okay. So let's just start first by swinging the arms. Find a nice deep bend in your knees as you do that. And as you do this, I want you to think like you're shaking out anything that doesn't serve you through your arms as you kind of shake them down. Okay, one more time. Good. Then stand up, step your feet apart, and just like in the beginning, just do this little swinging the arms side to side. Did we do this already? Maybe we didn't. As you spin to the left, let your right heel lift, and as you spin to the right, let your right heel lift. Yeah, kidney tap. Tap in the back. Okay, now we're going to come back to the arms swinging forward and back. But let's just take a standing breath. That really gets all that vata energy moving, so take a few moments to settle it back down. All right, and now we're going to incorporate some really active cleansing breaths. So we're going to swing the arms, and we're going to swing them 3 times. And then on the third one, you're going to shake out that breath, or you can exhale through the nose. So let's start together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Good. Let's do it one more time. I think it feels really good. 3. Exhale. Good. Okay. Clear your snot away from your nose. And step your feet apart so that they're as wide as your hips. And then bring your hands onto your knees. So we're going to practice some really gentle Agni Sar, which means balanced Agni. So what I want you to do is Agni Sar, usually we're pumping the belly without the breath. But we're just going to do some gentle inhale, let the belly expand. Exhale, contract those muscles. So take a deep breath in. Let your belly fall out. And then exhale, draw the belly button back towards the spine as if you could touch your spine with your belly button. Really squeeze those muscles. Relax and inhale. Exhale, contract, squeeze the belly. Try to pull it up underneath your ribs. Inhale, relax. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, contract the belly, pull it up towards the spine. We're going to do it 2 more times. Just inhale, release the belly. Almost like you're doing a standing cat-cow. Exhale, draw the belly button towards the spine. Good. Okay. Return your breath to normal and step your feet back underneath your hips. Great. Okay, from here, actually, why don't we bring the feet together a little bit more? And then inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Let your fingers sweep the floor back. And then as you sweep them forward, sit down into Utkatasana and bring your elbows onto the tops of your knees, hands together in front of your heart. Good. This is just another gentle way that we can start to bring strength back to our body by doing some supported Utkatasana, awkward pose. Good. Lengthen down through your tailbone, reach up through the crown of your head, press your elbows into your knees, and then exhale, fold over the legs. Walk your feet all the way back, coming through your hands and knees and all the way down to your belly. And just come into a supported Makrasana. So stack your forearms, turn your toes out, and rest your forehead on the arms. Settle in for 5 long breaths. And notice the rhythm and depth of your breath. And notice if there's any sort of like a record player being stuck on repeat, any thoughts or emotions that just won't stop. They're just kind of ornery. Good. From here, bring your legs back in line with your hips. Lower your forehead to the floor and interlace your hands behind your back. Good. Place your left thumb over your right so that you're activating the lunar channels in the body. And then inhale, reach back through your arms to lift the head, neck, and chest. And if it's available for your body this morning, then lift the legs. And keep drawing back through the arms. So in order for us to be able to complete our goals or have focus, we have to feed our willpower. And our will is the food of the breath, or vice versa. The breath is the food of the will. So take a few really deep breaths here and breathe all the way up into the top of your lungs. Like get your breath all the way up to your collarbone. And then exhale and just feed your sense of willpower. Good. Go ahead and slowly lower everything to the floor. Turn your cheek to one side and relax. Turn your head to the opposite side. Take 2 more breaths. Good. And then come up onto your elbows so that they're underneath your shoulders. This is called Sphinx pose. Legs are in line with your hips. You're pressing down through your pubic bone and you're pressing down through your elbows, lifting up out of your shoulders. And then traction your hands as if you could pull yourself or your chest through the arms. Good. And then parallel your left arm to the top of your mat or to the short edge of the mat. Bend your right foot and reach back for the pant leg or the ankle or the toes and gently pull the heel towards your glutes. You can keep moving your right shoulder back, which will keep moving your heel deeper into your glute. Try not to sink into your left shoulder. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Good. With control, let this right foot move back to the floor. Come back through Sphinx pose. Find some stability in the shoulders. And then parallel the right arm. Reach back for the left leg, foot, or toes. And gently draw the heels toward the glutes on this side. 3 deep breaths. Doing our best not to sink into the shoulder, so always pressing down through that right elbow and gently pulling the heel towards the glute. Good. Slowly let this foot go back. Come back through Sphinx. And then shift up onto your hands and knees. Cross your ankles. And then sit back over the feet. Take your legs out in front of you. And come all the way down. Good. Extend your left leg out, draw the right knee into the chest. Pavanmuktasan, giving some compression to the ascending colon, to the liver and gallbladder. All very important parts of our digestive system. Okay, go ahead and switch sides, drawing the left knee into the chest. This side is getting the descending colon, the spleen, and head of the pancreas. Still parts of our digestive system, our immune system, and our circulatory system. Good, then go ahead and draw both knees into the chest. Take the forehead up towards the knees and just give yourself a nice big hug. And then lower everything back to the floor. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips and your hands a little bit wider than your shoulders. Actually, you know what? Let's do something else first. So bring your feet back to the floor and your arms along your sides. So something that we have innately in us, but that we don't do because of, I think, societal things over time, is we're animals too. And animals, when they're encountering trauma or they encounter trauma, the first thing they do after that is to go somewhere and they shake. And that releases that trauma from their tissues. It's actually a form of digesting the experience. So I want us to shake. So press into your feet and just start to like shimmy inside your skin. Yeah, Rainey, you got it, girl. Shake it out. Good, and then as you're doing this, walk your feet a little bit further down the mat. Continue to shimmy and shake in your skin. Walk your feet a little bit further out. Shimmy, shimmy, shake. Shimmy, shimmy, shake. All right, now the legs are all the way extended and we're kind of flapping our ankles or feet around, shaking the whole body. Shake the arms a little bit, and then relax. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fluttering the lips. Shift your legs a little bit more so they're wider than the hips. The arms are wider than the shoulders. And then just shake your head or turn your head side to side a few times. Good. And relax. If you have something to cover your eyes now, this is where we want to use a scarf or a sweater or a t-shirt and just drape it over the eyes so that there's no or little light coming in through the eyeballs. All right, so I want to share a little story with you guys as we move into the relaxation part of our practice today. And you all know me, so you know that part of my journey here is learning how to surf, and that I'm finding this experience very spiritual. It's a really potent way to be practicing mindfulness, even if I didn't realize that that was going to be part of the practice in the beginning. So yesterday, we went out, and always, whatever I'm carrying with me, whatever chitta vritti is going on in my head, it always gets released to the ocean. So that's something that I'm super grateful for. But as we got into the water, I made a clear intention to the ocean, to the practice there, to be mindful, to be held safe. But I had an insecurity loop going in my head. And I won't go further into detail about what that insecurity was. It was just a repeat of why all of the reasons I should be insecure are. So I was fighting for my limitations versus just letting it go. And I paddled out, and I'm sitting out there waiting with this terrible nonsense happening in my head. And I just couldn't shake it. And all of a sudden, the phrase popped into my head: let it go, let yourself flow, slow and low, that is the tempo. I think it's a Beastie Boys song, but I'm not sure. But it like popped into my head like a mantra: let it go. So I started shaking my hands. Let it go. Let yourself flow, slow and low, that is the tempo. So slow and low for many reasons was important to me, just to take things slow, to stay low on my board, to be grounded in the practice. So I sat there for like 5 more minutes and just let the sets kind of pass by. There wasn't really a lot of sets happening, so it was a perfect time to be practicing this. And I just let myself out loud sing this: let it go, let yourself flow, slow and low is the tempo. And I kind of sang it like I thought I remembered it. And then after a while, I changed the tune, so it was more like slow and low, that is the tempo. Let it go, let yourself flow. And after a while, I turned that into a whisper. Let it go, let yourself flow, slow and low, that is the tempo. And then slowly that turned into just being silent and kind of running in the back of my head. And before I knew it, I was in the flow. I was having fun. I was laughing. I had let all of my limitations go just by allowing for the flow. So I'll leave you now in a little bit of silence as you allow the flow. Take a moment to just notice the tendencies or wanderings of your thoughts. Let them go or gently reflect on them, and then come back to your breath. Allowing your breath to be your mantra, to be a stabilizer and anchor for the wandering mind. Take a moment now again to notice the tendency of your thoughts. And this time shift all of your awareness to your sense of hearing, connected to the ether, space, or akash element. And through your ability to recognize different sounds, use that as a tool to observe the distance and space between you and that sound. We all live in this space together. And take a moment now and shift your awareness to your sense of touch. This is connected to the air element, also called Vayu. And just notice where you can feel your body touching the floor or your mat, where you can sense your clothing touching your skin, or maybe you can even feel a gentle breeze moving through the space. Shifting your awareness again now to your sense of vision, but keeping your eyes closed. Just noticing all of the colors or shapes kaleidoscoping behind the eyelids. This is connected to our fire element, the Agni, giving color, shape, and form to our visual perception. Shift your attention now to your sense of taste inside the mouth. This is connected to the water or apas element. And just notice maybe you have some lingering flavor left in the mouth, or maybe you're craving a particular flavor or taste. Maybe you like the salty, vinegary, maybe you like the sweet taste, maybe you like the bitter taste. Just taking a moment to notice your preferences. And now finally shifting your awareness to your sense of smell. This is connected to the earth element, or prithvi in Sanskrit. Just noticing any sense of flowers or perfumes or incense, or maybe you're near a bakery and you can smell the food cooking. And making this final transition as the sense of smell brings us back to our connection with breath. Feeling the breath moving in and out through the nostrils. Noticing how our breath moves the body. Before we make any other movements, just take a moment to encapsulate yourself, holding the awareness of your whole body, your physical body, your subtle body, your emotional body, all in one moment of awareness. Hold yourself in awareness. And take a few deep breaths. As you do this, allow some movement to come back into the fingers and toes. Gently move the ankles and wrists. Start to bend the knees and elbows. And then shoulders and hips, reaching the arms and legs in opposite directions, getting that full body stretch from tips of the toes to tips of the fingers. Good. Bend your knees and very gently roll to one side. And then pressing back up to a seated posture. And coming back onto the blanket or mat, or if you had any support under your tushy. Try not to come out of this space, so keeping your eyes closed, hands resting in your lap. Finding some length up through the crown of the head. Do your best to immediately come back into connection with the breath. Just watch it come and watch it go. I am the world and the world is me. And the Sanskrit equivalent of that is a mantra called So Hum. I am that I am. And this is the language of your breath. So as you inhale, listen closely as the breath says, so. And as you exhale, the breath says, hum. So. Hum. Take a moment to bring your right hand back to your heart and your left hand back to your belly button. I am you and you are me. And you are uniquely you and I am uniquely me. But we make up a beautiful, beautiful existence. And I'm honored to share it with all of you. I appreciate your time, your space, and your energy. I'll close the class today just sharing the sound Om and 3 Shantis. Shanti means peace. And we do 3 so that we have 1 for ourselves, 1 for our communities, and 1 for the world. Inviting a nice deep breath in to begin or to end. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, no matter how much of it is left. I love you guys.
Yay.